finally here. And hopefully, let me see. Okay, like last live stream, I had a really bad desync issue between my camera and the audio itself because I set the camera to 30 FPS and I think that's what caused it. I am now seeing if that's fixed. Okay, last live stream. And that seems fine. I just need to obviously put the microphone like actually in front of me. And there we go. Oh hey Stas, you didn't miss much. I was literally just setting up for this whole time. Oh, there's a bunch of fucking cat toys and like caps and everything on my setup. So yeah, I think I really hope the desync issue is gone. Let me just take a one last look. Because I set the camera caps and everything on my setup. So yeah, I think that's really hope that's like acceptable. Of course, my cat has to come here, stand literally in front of the camera and lag it out. Jesus Christ. Oh, put this there. Is the fucking issue back? Because now I can see the desync. Oh yeah, then now Taigo. Is the past ones, especially the one where you lost the bet. Now the camera issue is back. I don't know fucking why. Like literally nothing special happened. Oh yeah, then now Taigo. The past ones, especially the one where you lost the bet. Now the camera issue is back. I don't know fucking why. Like literally. Yeah, what the fuck is happening? Nothing changed. I did nothing like differently. What the fuck? Hmm. Okay, I need to sort this out. Because it really fucks up with the... really fucks up with the stream. Okay, what the fuck is happening with the camera now? Jesus Christ. Okay, that's too dark. That's like fine. The desync. The desync is still kinda there. Okay, I am for some reason dark as fuck now. What the fuck? Why did Man, technology is just bullshit. Holy fuck. But I think it's a little bit better now. Okay. Yeah, it's in sync now, at least. We're making progress. Bear with me, bear with me. Okay, so that's all fine. Now I just need to make sure it doesn't look like it looks now, so I am speechless. I will tell you what happened right now. Wait, maybe I can even show it to you. That's fucking dumb. That is really dumb. Okay. Okay, the window is popped up now. Let me see if I can show it to you. This is just gonna show my stream. Why the fuck is Spotify open? Settings. I don't think that specific window can be targeted. Shame, because that is really fucking funny. So, like, I set the basic camera things to default, right? And the camera went like this, like it's dark and everything, right? So I went into the properties of the camera and I set exposure to -5, which is this, and back to -4 and it was at -4 before, right? So by setting it to the same setting it had before, just flipping it back and forth, somehow it got brighter? How? It literally was at this level. Oh fuck, whatever. Let me just see again. By setting it to the same setting it had before, just flipping it back and forth, somehow it got brighter? How? It literally was at this level. Okay, now we're in sync. That's the most important part. Yes, Pretzel, we are in sync. Thanks. No thanks to you, you furry bastard. Oh, man, if... Oh, I need to move my table a bit to stop hitting the camera so it doesn't like bounce around. Oh yeah, the magic of the machine god. He speaks to me in ways I cannot fathom. But he knows best what's best for us, so I should trust him with my soul and life. Beautiful. Now everything is working swimmingly. Ooh wee. We should have a group prayer. If I pray at OBS hard enough, the machine god will optimize my settings, surely. Now I'm a little scared it will fuck up like during the stream, but hopefully you will alert me if something goes like terribly out of sync, and I will try to fix it again. So that's out of the way. Okay, let's move on to the first topic at hand. I really want to finish my so last time I think you missed it, Stas. Last time I did a tier list of all games that I played in 2023, and I'm going to set it back up and like finish it really quickly. Okay, there we go. This was like this. And yeah, I'm gonna speed through it. I'm not gonna last time this was the entire stream and I still didn't get it done, and I don't wanna, you know, I don't wanna go that hard this time. I will just real quick move myself a little bit here. And just really quickly fill it back up because this sadly doesn't save, so all I have is the picture of how we ended up last time, and the tier list looked like this. Lost Judgment was top of S tier. Behind it was Max Payne on the third place. Second place was Hollow Knight. Then it was Mass Effect 2, which is just fucking where. Okay, Mass Effect 2, Slay the Spire, and Hearts of Stone. In, I think, this sequence. And then it was the First Judgment. And then it was Resident Evil 2 Remake. Resident Evil 1 Remake was in I refuse to rate it tier. Then it was the DLC for Deus Ex, the really fucking good one. Okay, and A tier was Penumbra, the base Witcher. Penumbra Overture, I think, was B tier. Base Witcher A tier. JoJo All-Star Battle R was in the middle of C tier. Deathloop was top of D tier. As Dusk Falls was, I think, top of D tier. Then Layers, oh, there's Penumbra Black Plague, this was top of A tier. Layers of Fear was under Deathloop. Okay. Guardians of the Galaxy. Silent Hill was, Jesus fucking Christ, Silent Hill Homecoming was the worst thing ever. There's Mass Effect 2. Kinda hid in there. The Mass Effect 2 was above Slay the Spire. Lords of the Fallen. The original one, not the remake from 2023. Or not remake, reimagining? I'm not sure what the new one is. but I haven't played that one yet. Okay, and D tier is back to where it was. Now it was Salt and Sanctuary, Diablo 2 Resurrected, Scarlet Nexus, there it is, above Salt and Sanctuary, Silent Hill 4 The Room, above Scarlet Nexus, then JoJo, Gravity Rush, Postal 2 Paradise Lost, Ninja Gaiden Tunic and Deus Ex. Ninja Gaiden Tunic and the other DLC to Deus Ex. There we go. And B tier was at the very top, Persona 3 Portable. I'm getting such tunnel vision when I'm making this. It's kind of crazy. Penumbra Overture, which is already there. Honkai Star Rail, Need for Speed Heat. Need for Speed Heat. There we go. Pathologic 2. Mafia Ultimate Edition. Then Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Warzone 2 expansion to Diablo, then Diablo 3 itself. There's Warzone. Okay, a Resident Evil 3 remake, Postal 2 Apocalypse Weekend, and the other JoJo game. Resident Evil 3 remake, Postal 2, and the other JoJo game. Here we go. Okay. And A tier was Nier Replicant, Ghost of Tsushima, Ico. Oh, they're right next to each other. How convenient. Ghost of Tsushima, Ico, Risk of Rain, Postal. Risk of Rain. Postal 2, the base game. And then Postal Brain Damage, the Dead Cells. Here's Dead Cells. Here's Postal Brain Damaged. Deus Ex and Overgrowth. Overgrowth was bottom here, and then Deus Ex Mankind divided above that. And I am missing something in S tier. No, I am not. It's just moved in the picture. That's weird. Okay. And things I will tell you in a second why I didn't like Salt and Sanctuary. Okay. Waiting Room was 13 Sentinels, both Alan Wakes, Black Mesa, Counter-Strike, Demon's Souls Remake, Fortnite, Chernobylite, I'm sorry, Days Gone, Dead by Daylight, Just Cause 1, Just Cause 2, Max Payne 2, Rise, My Hero Wants Justice 2, Outward, Saints Row Got Out of Hell, Under Rail. Okay, we're back. Kenshi, Tony Hawk's remake, and Needy Streamer Overload. Okay, so these are the ones I need to rate still. These are the ones I rated before. I didn't like Salt and Sanctuary. Last stream I talked about this, but that stream had like terrible desync issues, so I don't fucking recommend it that much. I will try to like sync it up better and make it as a whole, like long as video. So maybe, maybe that will go over like better. But yeah, I didn't like Salt and Sanctuary for a very specific reason. I loved the combat. I loved the idea of it kind of being like 2D Dark Souls, right? But the fact that it was 2D, the developers quickly spiraled it into something I really despise, which was it was just a bunch of platforming. Like a bunch of platforming was introduced at sections where I didn't want to platform. And I remember like very specific moment. Let me zoom this out so you can see the whole list. That's not ideal, but I will zoom it back in later. So like I was beating the first bosses, I was going through the first areas, and then there was a very specific area where you were in a forest, you were jumping across the treetops while archers were sniping at you, and I beat that area after like so many tries. I went to the next screen and there was no fucking checkpoint, and I got like murked by the next enemy. Like all of the enemies reset obviously, and I had to do all of that platforming again. And I was like, I did not buy this game and enjoy this game to this point because of platforming, and I will like I dropped the game at that point. And because I also read, I tried to look up if other people had this problem with this game, and somebody said there is a way worse area later in the game with way worse fucking platforming, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to continue then. But the art direction, music, combat was fire. I just don't like junky platforming. I am so sorry. Like I don't think Dark Souls 1 was that brutal. Everybody remembers the Anor Londo archers, right? But it was basically only that section. Uh, if you got the bonfire at the bottom of the elevator, all you had to do was run between the giants and up the like ledge thing, right? And if you got through them, there was immediately a bonfire there, like a checkpoint. And in Salt and Sanctuary, I felt that section was so bullshit, and there was no checkpoint after it. I just felt so robbed. But like, obviously this is a tier list of like my personal feelings, because I think a lot of people like Tunic. It didn't speak to me because I didn't grow up with Legend of Zelda games, and it's like that top-down Legend of Zelda where you run around and swing your sword. I think Silent Hill for the Room was fucking trash, and a lot of people got offended actually by my review on this little website, Backlogged. There we go. The next game in the universe seems easier in terms of platforming. Yeah, I think it released, right? Let me see. Salt and Salt and Sacrifice. That's it, right? Oh man, that's a really bad rating. But was the first one, uh, or is that the? Yeah, that's the game, right? By Ska Studios. Ah, weird. But I enjoyed Salt and Sanctuary to the point where I'm willing to like give it a try still. I'm not sure, like the people have like strangest gripes with certain video games, so um I'm still willing to give it a try. Okay, so what's next for us? I was going through like by order of me beating the game last year, so we are now at Black Mesa. Black Mesa, okay. Black Mesa was Black Mesa was good. Um, I don't wanna put it under Star Rail. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put it right here, like below Penumbra Overture. Um, Black Mesa was a cool remake. It took a long way to come out, but it finally did, and it's cool. I don't think it's like even comparable to the original Half-Life in certain ways, but it's better in others. It's such a weird remake. I don't know what to say. So I played it for 22 and a half hours. Uh, and here's what I wrote. I desperately wanted to rate it higher, but I can't do that in good faith. After playing it to completion, I clocked in 22 hours to get all the achievements, two of which in particular add a unique and frustrating challenge to your run. Neither of which tanked the score, by the way. This is around 6 or 7 more hours than a normal run of Black Mesa will take. The team from the Crowbar Collective did an excellent job of remaking one of the most beloved FPSs of all time, but there are issues from minor to moderate, but they stack up by the end and you will feel it. First of all, the game was very fucking buggy, and this is years after full release with a lot of bug fixes, with a lot of additions. Sometimes a mission critical item will phase through the world and you need to reload a checkpoint. You will clip out of the map. Happened to me like multiple times in that original 17-hour run, which is insanity to me, especially since like it's a remake and not, I guess it is from the kind of a ground up. So you will get crushed by object barely touching your hitbox and die instantly. This is an issue with the engine. I remember this happening to me in Half-Life 2 also, but not nearly like this frequently. An enemy will eat all your shots from your favorite high-powered weapon and ignore all the damage until you get much closer to him. It's incredibly easy to sequence break one of the bosses, especially if you are doing achievements that require you to carry items through the fight. While not a bug, these also feel like ones. Hitboxes on some objects are way bigger than the object, thus they will block your shots when firing from behind them. And there are lots of magic walls in places that don't necessarily make sense for it. Some block your some block you artificially from going back in the level. I have no idea why they have done this. And some prevent minor skips, which would have been a really cool reward for curious players. All of this creates the feeling of junk that that someone inexperienced in the industry made this. This game lacks polish that a full release of a game like Half-Life or an official remake made by Valve ought to have, which is understandable. You know, it's a remake by fans. Um, the second big problem was the balance. If you play on normal, Ward, headcrabs, zombies, assassins, the majority of the roster is laughable. You can even easily put the final boss here because compared to the Marines, they are all trash. I'm half considering booting up the original Half-Life to see if they do even a quarter of the damage they do in Black Mesa. They spit out insane damage, never miss a shot, and need milliseconds of direct line of sight to start firing on you. They even keep firing in the direction they saw you last. Hell, they even kept shooting at me through the walls as if they were not there. I'm pretty sure this is just a visual bug though. Yeah, the fucking Marines in Black Mesa Remake were so much stronger than anything else in the game. It was insanity. I don't know what they did to them. And of course, then there is the level design. Like the maps from laboratories from the first half of the game were very faithfully remade. They are amazing. They are so cool. And then Zen was expanded and reimagined because Zen in original Half-Life was very underwhelming. So this led to a very strange situation because the Zen chapter was a vast improvement over the original for the most part, and the last actual non-boss chapter, Interloper, which still takes place in the alien dimension of Zen, was a mix of great new storytelling additions, new models, new textures, new locations, which are like brand new, never have been seen before, and those made for some really cool scenes. And then it ended with some of the worst gameplay in the entire fucking game. This leaves a seriously sour taste in your mouth because the last 1 to 3 hours are stacked with uninspired puzzles, elevator fights, the damn conveyor belts, and fight after fight after fight after fight after fight. Why did they not put some of these fights in between all the cable management puzzles and jumping over lasers instead of stacking it all on that stupid conveyor belt and the elevator ride? I don't fucking know. So yeah, it's a really cool fucking remake, but it didn't stick the landing. Like the last bit, the last like 4 hours were significantly worse than my time with Half-Life, even though Zen in Half-Life was very bad, very barren, but at least it was over quickly. And this has better Zen that then becomes much worse. So then we move on to the Demon's Souls remake for the PS5. And I'm sticking it. Let's see. I will stick it right here above Gravity Rush, firmly into C tier. And why is that, you might ask? So I finished the game after 25 hours, and this is what I had to say. If you are looking to get into Souls series, please avoid this game and start at Dark Souls, Bloodborne, or Elden Ring. My god, this game aged beyond poorly, and some stuff was already very bad on day one anyway. From slow, almost goddamn geriatric combat to cryptic mechanics that will fuck you over if you don't play with a guide open to literally the worst level design of any Souls game. The music and presentation are great, except that all those pretty graphics often blend together, making it impossible to tell corpses from enemies, from objects, from random shit. Good luck running through some areas from the fifth Archstone. Devs made no attempt to signify where you are supposed to be going, so you'll second guess yourself every step. I heard an argument that the art style is actually not faithful to the original also, but I cannot confirm that. I didn't play the original Demon's Souls. Yeah, the puzzles in Black Mesa were fucking terrible. It was like, get this cable, connect it to the console, and connect it to the generator. It wasn't even a puzzle. It was just a case of find the cable, and it's like lying around somewhere, and usually you have to parkour a little bit. It was It was stupid, but it even worse. Like all the puzzles were squeezed together, and then the long combat part was also squeezed together. And I think they should have done puzzle, fight, puzzle, fight, puzzle, fight, puzzle, fight, and it would have flown much better. So yeah, there are 17 bosses total in Demon Souls. Uh, in any other Souls game, they would have been the ultimate test of everything you learned with a gimmick fight here and there. In Demon Souls, like 4 of them are actual fights, of which one is really fucking annoying because there are spots on the arena where you take damage from lava. One gives you an NPC helper that can solo the boss if you are diligent and go out of your way to explore. So there are like 2 actual good boss fights in the entire game. Developers of the remake did not bother to remove the carrying capacity from your backpack, which is a mechanic that's not there for any other Souls game for a good fucking reason, mainly because it fucking sucks. Weapon upgrading is still a nightmare. Farming for said weapons is a huge time sink, and if you don't commit to it, you simply won't have upgraded weapons. Materials dropped from specific enemies in specific zones instead of being sprinkled all over the game, just like every single Souls game after this did. Word tendency is still a thing despite being wildly disliked by fucking fans of the original. There was barely any attempt to make the gameplay better and bring it closer to something like Dark Souls 3, which did not have any of those problems because the devs spent the last decade upgrading the Souls formula. This is a huge one for me. I don't know why even remake. Don't say that the bosses in Dark Souls 2 are not really difficult. I would say even simple. The hardest ones are in the DLC. I agree with that. I definitely agree. Dark Souls 2 has a terrible boss roster also. But the thing is, in Demon Souls, a lot of bosses are just gimmicks. Um, like obviously, Demon Souls has the best gimmick fight in all of Souls, I think, which is the fucking Storm King or whatever, the giant floating manatee, where you slice it with the fucking wind. That's really cool. Um, But then it has stuff like the fucking phalanx, which you just throw fire bombs at. Um, I even struggle to remember all of the boss fights. Jesus Christ. Okay, the Man Eaters was an actual fight. I wouldn't call it a good fight. It was an actual fight though. The Yellow Monk was not a real fight because it I think it summoned someone as the Yellow Monk for me. I was playing with PS Plus, so I had the internet connection to do so. It summoned someone for the fight. He kicked my fucking ass, and then I tried again, and the game wasn't able to find anybody for me. So it was the AI controlled Yellow Monk, and he got folded so easily. Um, what else in Fool's Idol is a gimmick fight that's really fucking easy. Um Jesus Christ, what other bosses are there? Flame Lurker is a good fight, but like I said, it's really annoying because there are certain spots on the area where if you step on them you take fire damage, which is fucking terrible. This is a problem that was also in Dark Souls 2 with one boss fight. Um, like I could go through all of them, and the Tower Knight was a kind of a cool boss fight, but it was kind of a gimmick because if you killed the archers and then you started wailing on his feet, like you usually die once because of the archers if you don't know they are there, and then you beat the boss really easily. So I don't think that's a great fight. And like, okay, King Aland, False King Aland was a great fight. It's an actual fight. I loved him. And then it was followed up by like True King Aland or whatever, the sludge. It was fucking bad. Oh, and Dragon King. Oh my god, Dragon King was so fucking bad. Jesus Christ. So yeah, I am very confused about why they. So they remade the game, right? The original is from what, 2009, something like that. So um, they remade this game after 11 years, and they didn't include any fucking quality of life that this series has made after 11 years in the making. I am so confused about that. Why is inventory carrying capacity a thing still? Why didn't they touch the word tendency? Why didn't they kept the gender locked armor, which is a very bad mechanic because like one gender actually has better fucking armor, just period. um like the the grass obviously is a bad mechanic, but that's so tied into the identity of the game. I don't know what they could do about that. um and yeah. So lastly, there's a final fuck you personally to me because I have been there day one for every single game since I played Dark Souls Prepare to Die Edition in 2011. I heard so much about this game over the years. I considered getting a PS3 just to play Demon Souls. So imagine how happy I was to finally try the game that started it all thanks to PS Plus. But now I see if I ever started with Demon Souls, I would have never become a fan of the franchise. So please do yourself a favor and select a way better starting point than this, and then don't come back for this one because like there's no cool idea in Demon Souls that wasn't expanded later. Like in terms of atmosphere, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Elden Ring are so much better. In terms of raw gameplay, every single fucking game in the franchise is better. I say franchise, with a quote, because it's kind of different games. Okay, let's move on. Then I played Kenshi. Oh my fucking god, Kenshi is so based. Where is it, Kenshi? It's going like, oh fuck, I don't know where to put it. I think it's going like bottom of the S tier for now. You know what? Above the DLC for Deus Ex. Um, Kenshi is fucking amazing. So I played 22 hours of Kenshi and I wrote all of this. I don't want to read all of this because I paraphrased pretty much this entire review in my video. I paraphrased this entire like review in my video about reviewing games Seth Sintach convinced me to buy. I talked about Kenshi. I talked about Underrail, which Underrail is also going like. I'm thinking like top of B tier or somewhere here. I'm gonna be generous to Underrail because it's pretty much one developer with some additional help, and put it to be above the Fury fighting game because the Fury fighting game is there just because I really liked it. So Kenshi and Underrail I talked about in that video, so I'm not going to expand like too much here. They are impressive as games. Max Payne I already rated because I saw that like trailer for a remixed graphic. You better say a few words in general. So yeah, Kenshi is it's like you have one guy at the beginning of the game. You can recruit others into your squad. It controls like a real-time strategy. You hold left click, select all your units, right click, and they will go there. You build a base, and it's a like an open world sandbox game where you can destroy cities, entire civilizations, take slaves, become slaves. I don't think you can take slaves in the base game, but you can kidnap people and strap them into torture machines. So basically the same thing. You can destroy the whole world. There's a beautiful, like handcrafted map that each part of the map has its own identity. Some parts there's a giant laser that chases you. Some parts there are crab people that control crabs. Some parts there are big things which will beat the fuck out of you. Some parts of the map are the holy nation, which is like the closest to civilization you can get in Kenshi, but they also hate women and people of different races than, white. So pretty much just Christianity. And there are these different fantastic races that are so cool. I think Kenshi is both in lore, gameplay, aesthetics. It's top tier definitely, but it's a one-man game and you can feel it because some gameplay mechanics are not that deep and that hurts. Underrail, on the other hand, is a turn-based open world CRPG. Uh, it looks like Fallout and it has mechanics like Fallout 1 and 2 specifically, but it's instead of focusing on world building and characters like Fallout, it focuses on combat. So if you like games like XCOM that are very action oriented and all combat and strategizing what you're gonna do, Underrail is for you. If you like RPGs that go for world and exploration, uh, I really don't have enough depth in Kenshi in terms of equipment. Yeah, the combat Kenshi is just both Kenshi and Underrail are like two big games to sum up in a couple of sentences. I just tried. Underrail is definitely not for people who are looking for like very deep RPGs with cool lore. Like I think Witcher, if you think about open world RPGs, you think about like Fallout New Vegas, Witcher, the old Fallouts, fucking whatchamacallit, the Elder Scrolls. All of these games are not great for their combat. All of these games are great for the setting and the story. I think Underrail setting and story are so generic and boring, but the combat makes the game what it is. Like it's pure gameplay over like substance of the story and whatever, which is for very specific kinds of gamers. I don't think everybody will enjoy that game. Okay, moving on. Um, I meant to say in general about your impressions of the game. Yeah. Like I said, each of these games could be tacked on for hours, and I would still have things to say about. So I needed to like tone it down for purposes of making the video not 5 hours long. I wouldn't say not so much a story as an exploration of the world. Yeah, that's a fair way to put it. So then I played Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne, and they weren't fucking kidding. because Max Payne fell off after this game. Um, I still think it's like, let's see. I don't wanna put it below Black Mesa. As a standalone game, it's better than Penumbra. Uh, placed Persona 3 Portable, that port in particular was just fucking bad. So let's say above Overgrowth, below Underrail, something like that. Yeah, bottom of A tier. That's fine, a fine way. So yeah, Max Payne 2, I finished it in 7 hours. And yeah, for a game that takes roughly 7 hours to complete, this sure feels like it stretches at certain parts. Overall, I will sum it up like this. Way better gameplay than Max Payne 1. They really iterated on the gameplay. The graphics are so much better also. So like the mechanics where you can dual wield different weapons, you have like new melee options. The grenades are not a separate inventory but are a button press. Fucking finally, modern games. And these games came out 2 years apart, I believe. Max Payne 2 was 2003 and Max Payne 1 was 2001. 2 years apart, and the graphics and the gameplay are like had such astounding progress. I know they got picked up by Rockstar Games by now, so they had the money to do it. But the story is so much worse, and the characters are literally the same from Max Payne 1, and anybody new is not interesting in the slightest, and some characters from the fucking first one are just worse. So it's definitely like way below Max Payne 1. Still a good game, still a really, really fun shooter. And then we have Alan Wake 1. Alan Wake 1 is going into B tier for sure, and I think it's like, let's put it below Black Mesa. Sure. About Alan Wake, I already kinda talked about in Bricky's review, so I don't wanna like yap on too much. This took me 12 hours for base game, and it's 2 DLCs. The story is cool, some aspects of it are great even, but they forgot to make the fucking game fun, and 80% of its runtime is actually playing and not watching cutscenes or listening to dialogue. Yeah, if you want more, you can watch my reaction to Bricky's Alan Wake review. I agree with him almost 100%, and I talked about at length about that game, so I don't wanna yap on too much. Alan Wake, the story amazing. The story SSS tier. Put it way the fuck above there. The gameplay like D tier. The gameplay is worse than some games in D tier. The gameplay is worse than Deathloop for sure. Fucking Lords of the Fallen had more engaging gameplay. That's why it dropped down so much. And then I played the follow-up, Alan Wake's American Nightmare, which is very on par with Alan Wake. And now we have an inverse, right? American Nightmare has made the gameplay way better because it's more arcadey shootery thing rather than being boring, so kind of realistic, right? But the story is just filler. It's honestly filler between Alan Wake 1 and 2, so it doesn't matter. You do find out some cool details if you go for the completionist things. But yeah, it takes 3 hours to beat this man. 3 hours. Jesus Christ. So yeah, For the release price of $10, it's insanely worth it to play through this at least once. For the $2, it's going for now, since there's literally no excuse not to go through the campaign once. And there's like wave defense mini game attached to it. It's not great, but you know, it's whatever. The gameplay got so much better, while the story fell the fuck off. And then we have Outward, and Outward is right here. Outward Definitive Edition is going top of D tier. I don't want to put it in C tier. Man, Jesus Christ. I am happy that this game's rating like fell off slightly because it had a better rating on this website. I don't think it deserved it, honestly. I am very critical of this game for it being an indie, but I'm sorry, it's just like 75% of this game is just walking. That is so fucking unacceptable that even like every single reviewer ever acknowledges that, yeah, there's too much walking, you need to install mods for it. How the fuck did the developers not pick up on this, that there's too much walking, and maybe make the character move faster out of combat? Maybe make the maps smaller, like do anything interesting to circumvent that. They didn't do that because like Outward felt so passionless to me. I know a lot of people really like Outward for split screen co-op and like a local multiplayer and like multiplayer period. That's a cool feature, I agree, but it doesn't make the game good. So again, Outward is talked about in that video I mentioned, reviewing Sev games. Check it out if you want to hear more about this game. Then I played Days Gone, and Days Gone is the most... Days Gone is the most 6 out of 10 game I have ever fucking played. Way more of a 6 out of 10 game than Alan Wake is. That's why it's bottom of the B tier. And well, I don't know. As for me, walking is just a matter of taste. I'm playing for now and I'm fine with it. Again, it's like thresholds, right? Everybody has their own threshold, and I think like it says a lot that a lot of people also kinda agree that the threshold for this game was met for a lot of people, and then the game kept going. Like walking from the first village to the desert city is an insanely long trip. I had multiple mods for walking, and it still like took a while, you know. But again, like obviously, if you have more patience towards that kind of gameplay, the game has a lot of unique things going for it, right? So again, it's out there for people who really like hardcore survival, I suppose, because it has a lot of those mechanics, like, you know, you catch a cold or whatever. Days Gone, on the other hand, like directly opposite of, like, Outward is an experimental, risque game, right? Days Gone is the safest open world fucking third person shooter you can make. It's literal Assassin's Creed type of slop, but it felt like I played it in the middle of all of those experimental RPGs, and I was like,
I know why they make games like this now, because it's just comfort. Like you escape from the insanity of like Outward and Underrail, and you go into Days Gone, and it's just, oh, I click on the zombie, I get the upgrade, I do the mission. It's literally zero thoughts occurred when I was playing this game. I never thought about anything once. Maybe when I was doing like additional challenges. It's just one of those games you play and you mellow out completely. I didn't even fucking write anything for the review. I just reviewed it and moved on. Even though I played 53 hours of this is a long ass fucking game, and I got all the achievements for it because I was just comfortable with the gameplay. So like the shooting is mid, the open world exploration is mid. It has all of the slope of like Assassin's Creed, so not Assassin's Creed, sorry, Far Cry, right? Far Cry 3 introduced that formula that we are still fucking going with. So there are bandit camps that you retake. You collect herbs to make little fucking, injectors to the med kits, whatever. Um, you unlock like weapons to your locker for doing very specific things. It's just fucking Far Cry, man. We have been doing Far Cry for so many years now in open world games. But the really cool thing about Days Gone that I will always say was really cool is the bike, because it's a zombie game. Also, I don't know if I said that it's zombie, so it's such slop, man. Open world shooter, this fucking zombie game, sloppiest of them all. Um, but it's also like a biker game in the middle of all that. So you're a biker man that's really fucking lame. That story tries to make him to be like a cool guy. He's so lame. I hate him so much. He doesn't shut the fuck up. He always talks about something. I don't care. I wish there was like a legitimate mute this guy mod for this game. But when you're riding the bike, right, and you find upgrades for you buy upgrades for it, you do custom paint jobs for it, you earn some custom paint jobs from missions, and you need to find fuel in the middle of like a really long road trip, and like fix your bike. That felt cool. I That was the mellowest part of it all. Like when you ride on the bike, you are completely in the zone. Like the environment is beautiful. You go through this beautiful forest on your bike. The zombies are just background noise. They don't fucking matter for anything. They're just kind of there, and you're chilling on your bike. It's cool. If they made it like a entirely like a biker game, it would have been so much better. Like finding resources to craft parts for your bike, and I don't know, the goal is to go through the country, like make it to the like other fucking side of America or something, and the environments change. If this game was that, it would have been like fucking 8 or a 9, man. The bike, the riding the bike felt really satisfying. And then a random wolf comes out of the fucking forest, bites your ass, you're on the dirt, you have to engage with the slop combat, and you are back in the experience, and you are like, I just wanna get on the bike, man. I just wanna ride. So it's so mid. Uh, there was a psyop going on. I don't know if you felt that, but there was a psyop going on that people legitimately tried to convince a lot of people on the internet that this is a good game and it's underrated. I think that was a fucking psyop by the FBI or something. I don't know what was the goal. maybe Sony marketing like tried to start a grassroots movement for people to retry this game, so it has a second chance. But that was a fucking lie. This is not an underrated gem. This is a mid game that deserves to go out forgotten. I don't want another Assassin's Creed series. Like that game was not interesting enough to get a sequel, and rightfully it won't get a sequel. I know a lot of fans are angry about that. I don't care. It was mid. Speaking of mid, this is not mid, this is fucking terrible. Saints Row Got Out of Hell. Holy fuck. I hate this game. Yeah, I think I hate this game. I honestly, now that I think about it, post playing it, I think I would have rated it less than I did. And I rated it 2 out of 5, so 4 out of 10. I think it belongs like even fucking lower. You know what? I'm gonna swap it with Outward. Fuck it. Outward doesn't deserve to be below Got Out of Hell. So Saints Row Got Out of Hell. Oh my fucking god. So I played for 11 hours and I got all of the achievements in 11 hours. And it's just whatever. I have no idea who they made this game for. The story is over within 3 fucking hours of playtime. I 100%ed it in 10 hours. Well, I would if there wasn't an achievement for playing 20 hours straight and one for playing 3 hours of co-op. I ain't doing all that shit for a goddamn Saints Row Got Out of Hell. Goes double for co-op. It would be beyond embarrassing to ask one of my friends to play this with me for 3 hours, so I just used third-party software to give myself the achievements. I deserve them after playing this for 10 hours. Once you are done with most of the fun activities like insurance fraud and fly racing minigame, you realize how empty this game is because everything is combat related. Yeah, this game was like fucking it was all mini games. There was barely any story, and the story itself was so ridiculous. I don't know. I don't know why they made this game. It's really bad. I literally only watched what the story was about, for I was wondering if they would tell what happened after the destruction of the Earth. Yeah, the musical piece was very charming. They did like a real musical section. It was very charming. I really liked it. Um, but like the story didn't have anything to do with the Saints other than the ending. And the ending with Aisha meeting Johnny, really almost made me tear up. Actually, um, the ending where they get the new Earth was a cop out for a sequel that they will never get because Saints Row is fucking dead. I really liked the idea of a complete remake where the Saints were cops instead of gangsters. Uh, I think that would have been an ideal spin-off for this series. More grounded, but also something very different because we have been doing gang wars for 3 games in a row, and whatever Saints Row 4 was. So, and then I rated Dead by Daylight because this what was this? December, right? December 15th was the last day I played Dead by Daylight in 2023. That's why I rated it. Like I am still playing it, so because it's an online game, so you know. It's like a 6 out of 10 game, man. Definitely above here because it held my interest more than these two, like Warzone and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And that's about it. I can't really place it any higher. Let me front load this with something positive. I have 1000 hours in this game. I have like 1100 by now. Let me front load this with something positive before I start ranting. It's really fun with friends. It's a great background game to just shoot the shit with your mates and kinda put together some funny combos, try to get them to work in gameplay. If you don't treat this game seriously, it's so fun, especially like if you have a pre-made team. And there is fun to be found here, even if at its core a lot of enemy players will try to ruin it. And I mean that the games community is the worst. I played League and CSGO for years, and this community dwarfs both of these. I think League is overall the more competitive game. It brings out more vitriol out of people. But in leagues, there were games where nobody was using the chat and nobody was spamming like the chat the whole game. And in Dead by Daylight, I had games where the entire fucking match, like 3 out of 4 players on the opposite sides, were just committed to trying to troll me and not play the game, which is fucking ridiculous. I have never seen that in any other game. Like, Jesus Christ. I don't know if you've seen the old online game APB Reloaded. The way the cops are shown there could be like the Saints in policeman skins. I played APB Reloaded. I don't know if that game had like 2 different versions or something. But I did play APB Reloaded, and yeah, I agree with you. The Saints could be portrayed like that, just basically fucking gangsters, but on the police side of things. They are trying to keep the peace, but with very like unintuitive means, such as driving the car into your fucking face to stop the robbery, or just using explosives way too willingly. So yeah, that's pretty much all about Dead by Daylight. The only thing is, all I said about the community sucks because the core gameplay is super interesting and clever. Not to mention the goddamn licenses. You have Alien, Gene Valentine, Nicolas Cage, Ashley Williams, and Steve Harrington in the same match. I literally put 1,000 hours into it. This would be considered semi-advanced by the community. And not even advanced, expert, or pro. I just kinda know more than the average player. That's about it. After 1,000 fucking hours. In Counter-Strike, StarCraft, or some other games, I would consider this fair. But in this case, it's so not worth it to become an expert at Dead by Daylight. This is way too much commitment to become good at a video game like this. Because Dead by Daylight is not StarCraft, Counter-Strike, even League. Because it has so much random elements to it that will fuck you over anyway. Like in League, there is no, oh, I loaded into the wrong map. I fucking lost this game because my character sucks at this thing. So I think I played the new APB Reloaded, not the old one. I'm pretty sure. I'm not like really up to date with the game. It was fun. It was really fun for me and a couple of my friends. But I remember there was a point where we all said like, this game is fun, but I feel like I'm not progressing anything. I feel like I'm don't have direction, you know. I today maybe today APB Reloaded would have been better, you know. Put a but unironically unironically put a battle pass in there and like some quests for the people to progress through, and more people would be staying online for longer, because just having quests makes it like feel like you're doing something. Like Dead by Daylight is exactly that. In Dead by Daylight you have those little missions you can do to get more points, and if I don't have them, I really don't have motivation to play almost. Like those side objectives became for long periods of time become my focus. Same in Fortnite, like people play Fortnite just because the battle pass, pretty much, you know. The game itself is like secondary to that. I started playing League again. I'm talking about 2010. Yeah, I played it way past 2010, so it was probably the re-release of that. The re-release, like I said, was fun. It just felt like it didn't have direction. Like I didn't know why I should keep playing. What is there to look forward to? Is there like a cool skin I can unlock? Is there new weapons? Whatever. Cool cars, you know. Watched the review recently on the current state of the game, and it's very sad that the game is still going. I am surprised, actually. Probably just being held on life support, right? With just like the devs not really doing much for it, I would assume. So moving on, we have My Hero Wants Justice, which is an arena fighting game that's going into it's a better arena fighting game than JoJo's Eyes of Heaven. Okay, I'm gonna put it above Days Gone, because Days Gone is just kind of this is also slop, but fighting game slop, so kind of better. And above Postal Apocalypse Weekend. I cannot put it above Resident Evil 3 Remake. So, My Hero Wants Justice is a pretty good arena fighting game. I played like 4 hours of it only. So, it's definitely a good arena fighting game. So, you know, still a mid to bad actual fighting game, because arena fighting games are like babyfied fighting games. You cannot really do true combos. You can only auto combo, which obviously is an insult to your intelligence as a player, but they want as broad of an audience as possible because it's a popular fucking anime fighting game. So it's something cool you can play with your mates, especially when you are drinking, so you can't play anything that requires a lot of effort. If you're a fan of My Hero Academia, it's a good chunk of characters from the anime, and it does justice to their portrayal, I guess. It has a lot more going for it than the first game, but god fucking damn it, am I mad that the developers dropped Steam Remote Play together for no reason. I wanted to get this game primarily to play with one of my friends, because during my college years, we watched My Hero Academia. Now I don't think about that anime as highly, but playing through My Hero Academia, My Hero Wants Justice 1, we between classes we would go back to my dorm and boot it up for a couple of matches, just have fun. Either this or Tekken 7, and Tekken 7 is an actual fighting game, but sometimes it's overwhelming because it's an actual fighting game, right? And we really had fun with this. We really had fun with this game, and then it turned out it has Steam Remote Play. So I, after classes, I would sometimes invite my mate to a game, even though he didn't own the game. And we just played like local through the internet. It's such a cool feature. The game is the same, but they removed this feature. I am not sure why. I wanted this game for that specific feature because I now live in a different country and I wanted to play through the I wanted to play with my friend using the internet, but he would have to buy this, and I don't think I can convince him to buy this slob game. But he's coming to visit, so I can at least play some local fucking matches with him, I guess. And yeah, it's serviceable. It tried to be more like a fighting game in 2, which is cool. I certainly like the beginning of the anime and then somehow it slipped into typical anime. Yeah, I think so too. The premise is cool. The premise, like, everybody is born with this uh, superpower essentially. So everybody is super, but it's not equal. Some people are just born. It's kind of like fucking The Boys, you know? Some heroes are so much better than others that others are just diversity hires like the Deep in The Boys, if you know what's that all about. It started out with a very interesting idea and then it was like because a bunch of characters got introduced. They were not interesting. I didn't want to know more about them, but the anime was like, look at this guy, and I don't fucking care about him. Go back to this plot point. You could see the protagonist sort of exerting himself without much whining or sniveling. Yeah, people don't like Midoriya for some reason. I don't. Like, I think the idea, if they made it that he's without power and he had to kind of Batman his way across this universe, I think it would have been interesting. It sort of set it up for that. But then he, of course, becomes the chosen one. And for a story about a chosen one, he has the literally best fucking superpower you can have. Uh, it's not that bad for a story about chosen. He still has to earn it. It's not like you are instantly fucking Goku. This thing will kill you if you don't try to tame it. And there were a lot of characters like that I liked. Later on, there was Mirio, the guy who went through walls, and his like power was uh, so much. It required so much of him to do simple things. It was cool, but like I said, a bunch of side characters sidetracked this anime into the ground, like I'm sidetracking this tier list. So let's move on to Monster Hunter Rise. Monster Hunter Rise is going into A tier, and I will put it above Dead Cells because I had so much fun with this game's co-op. It was unbelievable. So yeah, I put 58 hours into this to do some side challenges and like the main story. I like it, I recommend it, it's a fair 7 out of 10 game, but I'm super confused about why you would ever pick this up. Monster Hunter World is better in every single regard that matters. The environments are fucking ugly. This is a big one. This game is really like ugly because it was made for the Switch and the Switch is laughably powerless. I don't know why they keep releasing Monster Hunters for like portable consoles. It's not a game that does well on a portable console, I think. It's a big like game with big, hugely detailed and complicated game that doesn't fit this that doesn't fit the Switch. Like, I hope to get to World someday. Never played it. Uh, I think Monster Hunter Rise is better for beginners. World has an atrocious introduction. It scared me off like completely at first, but yeah, I would recommend Rise to try it out, and if you like the concept, you can always go to World later for more content. Because like I said, the environments are ugly, there are fewer monsters, fewer armor sets, fewer layered armors, fewer collabs, and the frankly idiotic mechanics of making you hand down bugs that permanently give you stamina and HP for 10 minutes before you actually engage in combat with some of the harder monsters. This is in comparison to World, of course. The only offsets are the mount, which speeds up travel across the map, the climbing system, which is standout good feature by far, and the new wirebug attacks. And the combat overall is slightly faster and better. It feels better. Like, I think Monster Hunter Rise is a better introduction if you are still looking into it. It's also available on PC. The mount hardly matters for the most part. While the new wire bug attacks are nice, they don't add that much. The parkour is fantastic, hope it stays forever. And the rampage quests are boring, uninspired, and trash compared to normal hunting. The rest is just kinda like World, so very good. If you never played Monster Hunter, just buy World. If you completed everything in World, I guess you could give this a shot. It's a good game. I'm surprised by how much of a downgrade it is from direct predecessor. Also, this has one of the worst final bosses in any game I have ever seen, Lemao. I changed my mind after writing this review. Um, yeah, if you never played Monster Hunter, maybe buy this. If you completed everything in Rise, then move to World for more content. Yeah, I went back to World, and I have to say, World is a better game. They fucked up the introduction so much. It has like cutscenes, people talking. What the fuck am I watching cutscenes for in a Monster Hunter game? I wanna hit the big lizard with my stick, man. The Word tried to like ham in their like story missions. It doesn't work. It really doesn't work. But overall, when you get to the end game, World is so much better. It reminds me of Dragon Dogma. Yeah, it's true. Like the missions with special monsters, like the Hydra, for example, in Dragon Dogma, are kinda like Monster Hunter hunts. You have to you can climb on top of him, beat the shit out of him. They have specific weaknesses. Yeah, the introduction to Rise is much better. It's much faster, much cleaner. It takes you way less to get into actual monster hunting. In Monster Hunter World, they for so long they try to keep you away from hunting monsters, which is the literal main gameplay. I don't know what they were cooking, but keep them away from the stove. Then I played Just Cause 1, and this thing is going like. This thing is going like. Right. Right here. So, Just Cause 1 is a very shitty open world shooter, sandbox shooter, that aged horribly despite coming out in 2006. But this is why I think it's so good. Um, Just Cause 1 has to be one of the best fun bad games I played, right up there with Deadly Premonition. It's fucking terrible to start with, it aged like milk, it honestly feels like a PS1 era shooter, and the narrative tries so hard to make you think it's cool and badass and fails so miserably. There are difficulty spikes up the ass. You can die and never find out if you killed yourself with a battle rocket from your heli, if one single enemy you cannot possibly see from so far away launched a rocket, or if the game decided fuck you, die. You think I'm joking, but there are certain car types that will immediately launch you into the stratosphere and kill you if you get into them. There are cars that don't drive in this game. One of them is your summon. You literally have 4 vehicles you can summon to your location, and one of them doesn't fucking work. Any angle above 15 degrees will turn your car into a slab of butter and launch you at max speed in the opposite direction. There are random rocks in the jungle that you will crash into over and over if you ever get off the road. There are literal pitfalls in the middle of the fucking jungle because topography of those islands doesn't make a lick of sense. The game is literally trolling you every minute you are playing it. It feels like an elaborate shitpost. I couldn't stop laughing in between fits of rage. This almost feels like a psyop, and the worst thing is, I kinda liked it. I finished the story. It ends up with you strapping C4 to the president of this country you are doing a coup of while you are skydiving in purgatory, and then the protagonist opens a parachute, puts on sunglasses, and your handler says the president always wanted to be an integral part of the country. Now he's all over the country, while the president gets fucking nuked by your C4 mid-air. But I cannot imagine. Like, it's so insane. This game literally fried my brain with what the fuck was happening inside of it. But I cannot imagine getting around to 100% the game. There's literally a billion randomly generated missions that are just terrible. But fuck, it doesn't matter. This game is going for around $1 goddamn dollar. The campaign is 8 hours. Just play the campaign. It's so stupid. It wraps around to being like such a great goddamn time. I loved Just Cause 1. I would never replayed it. I loved it so much. I would never fucking go back to it, but I loved it. The one time I played it was so good. All they need to do is add a button to skip training. Yeah, that's why Rise is better, because Rise has. It goes like this. Like tutorial after tutorial after tutorial, but they are like 5 seconds long and you are done. Meanwhile, Word like kept you on a leash for so long. That's why I think Rise is a better introduction. I really hope the next one in 2025 there will be a new Monster Hunter game. I will definitely play it. I hope it learned a lot from Rise, because combining like Rise and Word would be match made in heaven, definitely. So then I played Counter-Strike 2 for the last time that year, and Counter-Strike 2 is just like I will put it top of here. Yeah, that's where it goes. I don't care. I have 1280 hours, not in just CS2, in CSGO in general, which kinda goes into like, Counter-Strike 2 because it's the same game. I honestly hate that people call this CSGO but prettier. It's prettier, true, but it also lacks all of the maps, all of the game modes, custom servers, while the graphics don't matter that much at all. Some of the changes are legit nice, but right now this game is still in beta, and it's still to this day in beta. Until we get until we get all the alternative game modes and custom servers, and all of the maps that were in CS:GO, this will forever be worse than CS:GO. I'm sorry. It's just not. It's not an upgrade that I was hoping for. I don't think it's an upgrade. Like, I don't think anybody was like, you know what, this is such an upgrade over the CS:GO, because CS:GO has so much quality of life by the end of it. I'm sure they will get there eventually. Right now, at the beginning of like a month into 2023, month into 2024, it's not better than CSGO. I don't know, after that Just Cause story, I was reminded of the game Total Overdose. I played Total Overdose like in my childhood. It's such a crazy game. It has all of those sick ass moves you can do. Like slow mo, fucking run up the wall and go backward and shoot out. It was such a crazy game, I remember. I need to replay it, honestly. So after the disappointment of Counter-Strike 2, I played 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. This is very unlike everything I have on the list. I think this is the only this is on the only visual novel on here. Like nothing else quite. Nothing else quite reaches the height of 13 Sentinels in terms of you are just watching a story. Like there is almost no gameplay. There is gameplay, but I will get to that. It's like two separate games stitched together. And it's holy fuck, it's going right below Kenshi. So yeah, 13 Sentinels is a very anime game, and people who are how do I say this? People who are very sensitive about anime stuff will not like this at all. So I finished the story after 57 hours. What do I even say? It's a sci-fi RPG visual novel thing that took me 37 hours to get through, and I was engaged for every single minute of the story, man. Just the fact that this is an advanced sci-fi shit with absolutely bonkers story that somehow sticks the landing, and I was like, okay, that made sense. By the end of it is an achievement itself. The gameplay that was not essentially a glorified visual novel felt weak though. I honestly wish you had to do a lot less of it for the purposes of the story, and more of it was kept optional for people who dig it. Other than that, holy fuck, if you like sci-fi stories, you need to play this. It does contain a few anime tropey things that are super cringe, but they will barely register between the sessions of pummeling your brain with plot twists that the game drops every 13 minutes through the entire run. Uh, this is stuck on the PS4, I believe. Let's see. Oh, it's on Nintendo Switch too. Okay, you can only emulate it on PC, I guess. So you can play it on PS4, Nintendo Switch, or PS5. If you don't have any of those consoles, I recommend at least watching like a let's play on YouTube of somebody who did this, because this game deserves to be talked about. It's so fucking insane. It has like every single plot point of every single sci-fi thing you have ever heard about. Time travel, robot androids disguised as fucking human beings, mind virus, mind download, mind replacement. I'm actually two guys. Fucking giant, giant mechs versus kaiju. The fucking kaiju travel through time to destroy humanity. There is so much shit in this. I don't want to talk too much about this because the story is core gameplay and I don't want to spoil anything, but it's one of the most insane sci-fi stories I have ever seen or heard about. Like every popular sci-fi thing is in there, like Terminator is in there, you know. Uh, Pretty much like anything that's popular sci-fi. Somehow it influenced this game to become like this, and that's really that's a really cool game. Okay, we're down to 5, so let's keep going before I spoil anything. 31st December was the last day I played Fortnite in the year. I fucking love Fortnite, man. Um, so Fortnite goes really high up on this list. I am sorry, I'm a certified Fortnite kid. Let's say like 8 year above Overgrowth. Fortnite continues to. I cannot check my playtime. It would be huge, but it's. I can't check it. Sadly, I wish they allowed you to. Fortnite continues to be the only game I have ever played season to season for so long. The content drops, gameplay remixes, overhauls, just the fact that it remained this relevant for so many years is remarkable. While I don't really like the current Battle Royale gameplay of the newest season, which is Chapter 5 Season 1, who fucking cares? We just got Guitar Hero, Racing Game Mode, Lego Open Survival. Like, I wish Counter-Strike, Dead by Daylight, and other online games I played had the fucking balls to drop random fun game modes in there to disrupt the stagnation of the game. That's not even like I needed a drink because my throat is going sore. That's I didn't even talk about all the stupid, frankly nonsensical crossovers this game has. Like everybody knows from the memes. The stupid shit going on. You have like Geralt from Witcher with Rick squadding up with Rick Sanchez and fucking Anakin Skywalker to fight Demogorgon from Stranger Things and push goddamn Alan Wake, who's building a giant tower in the middle of the field. It's so funny. I like it because it feels so casual in certain modes. It's exactly like Days Gone in that. Sorry, it's exactly like Dead by Daylight in that you can play this with friends and just turn off your brain and talk with them. Like the gameplay is happening in the background. Sometimes you're winning, sometimes you're losing, sometimes you're fucking using the new cardboard box from Metal Gear Solid to sneak past enemies, and it's funny. Sometimes you get sniped from like 200 meters away, but it doesn't matter, you just queue up for another game. And there is a skill element, I think, in Fortnite if you play the build mode. Like the building is essential to do well in that, but they added no build for casuals like me who just wanna talk with their friends while we are hitting the greedy with fucking Geralt of Rivia, you know, or just doing like Gangnam Style as Demogorgon from Stranger Things. It's dumb. I love it. It's a really consistent game that changes a lot throughout the season. It keeps things fresh, which is not a thing that for example League of Legends, I don't think doesn't succeed in that at all. And Dead by Daylight, they don't evolve as quickly as Fortnite, for example. Then we have okay, Honkai Star Rail. I already reviewed. This was the last day I played Honkai Star Rail in the year. I reviewed it when it came out as a first day. So then I played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 plus 2, which is a remake of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. And this game goes fucking hard. This game goes so hard, I will put it up here between the postals. Yeah, building the Eiffel Tower isn't really my thing too. For sure, man. I was so happy when they added the no build. I actually stopped playing Fortnite before they added no build, and I came back for no build. No build is goated. So, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 plus 2. I am a certified Tony Hawk Pro Skater head. Uh, if Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 was on this list, it would be like, I think, literally the top of it. I put so many hours into that stupid little game when I felt oh, my mood is a little bit off today. Boot up Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3, select a new character that I haven't cleared the story yet, go through the fucking airport, go through the cruise ship, go through like each of those iconic levels, and my mood instantly like skyrocketed. So the remake of 1 and 2, I played 2 a lot too. I didn't play 1 that much. I finished it after 31 hours. This is an unbelievably faithful remake of the first two Tony Hawk games. It looks amazing, plays unbelievably good, and has some real ass challenges in store for you if you want to 100% it. There are like optional challenges that you can do in this game. Some of them are insanity. It took me like hours to get them, like combining certain parts of the level in one combo. The only real issue I could have with this is that this is a remake of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, and those games were kinda very simple. It's just a bundle of like levels you go through, and you can go through them so easily and quickly. And because of this remake is also very simple. You can be done with all the goals on all the levels with a single skater in 4 to 5 hours. I think it's even lower. I think it's 3 to 4, maybe even less, like 3 hours, even if this is like your first time playing Tony Hawk ever. And anything left after that is just to repeat and repeat and repeat those same levels while playing multiplayer split screen, doing additional challenges. But then again, this was always the case with those more arcadey Tony Hawks. Playing this also sucks on some meta level because the studio that made this remake is now dead and buried, which means no 4 and no 3 and 4 remakes, which are the two games more dear and near my heart. If you ever had fun with any Tony Hawk's game, this will 100% be up your alley because it's definitely up there when the whole franchise is combined. Yeah, it's just good as Tony Hawk, man. It's just good as Tony Hawk. If you like Tony Hawk, then you will like this one. If you don't like Tony Hawk, you will not like this game. That's about as simple as it is. And if you want to find out if you like Tony Hawk, this is a good way to enter the franchise and find out. And it drops down like to really cheap most of the time. Then we have Just Cause 2, and Just Cause 2 is going into C tier above Demon Souls Remake. So Just Cause 2, this is the weird thing, right? Just Cause 2 is a fan favorite. It's the Just Cause, just saw a video in the distant past. Yeah. Tony Hawk's was huge when it came out in 2020. In 2020, because it was a revival of the franchise that was kinda dead, you know. It was a huge deal back then. A bunch of people made videos. Then it kinda, you know, it fell off because the multiplayer of Tony Hawk is not that engaging. So it's not one of those games that could be relevant forever. So Just Cause 2 is the game people talk about when you mention Just Cause. This is the game they say, I played this in my childhood. This was so good. This was peak of this franchise. And I disagree. So I finished it in 12 hours. It's just really mid. One of the gaming world's most uninspired story campaigns, gameplay that's actually fun but gives away everything it has up its sleeve within the first hour, then it gets pretty stale. The main story could be completed in around 2 to 3 hours if the game did not force you to do activities in the open world until you achieve enough points for the game to let you do the next mission. The biggest claim to fame is the tools you are given, mainly the parachute anytime you want and the grappling hook that will get you anywhere. These make any vehicle other than the assault choppers obsolete. Seriously, there's zero reason to ever get in a car. I wouldn't mind that much, but the fucking grapple is clunky as all hell. There are so many needless animations and restrictions on where you can aim that will constantly fuck you over, not to mention that explosions and enemy fire constantly shake your camera. And I am not one of those people who I am not one of those people who easily falls victim to the shaking camera effects or gets motion sick. This game grabs your fucking camera and does with it constantly. You cannot see shit. It's all so blurry when you enter combat. It's insanity. It makes it impossible to see any detail. People have colorful memories of this game, and that's where all the praise come from, I assume. But this series seems like one of the middest gaming IPs I played. The first one was at least so bad it was funny, but I didn't smile once playing this one. So why not give it less than 5 out of 10? Well, it's not like bad or anything, it's just very mid. So yeah, this game is so mid. Even the story got so much serious. Like they expanded cutscene, better voice acting, better like better like animations for the cutscenes, right? But the cutscenes in turn became very long and unskippable, and they fucking sucked. The finale in this one is there are four nukes, and you are riding on the nukes, and you are using grapple to change on which nuke you are standing, and the president of this country you are cooping again for the American fucking country is standing on the fourth one in the front, and you are engaging in a fucking firefight trying to throw him off so you can disable one of the three nukes you are on, and do that until one of them remains, and then you do a QTE on the last nuke to beat the fuck out of him. Somehow that's less cool than the finale of the first one. not too visually liking the camera shake. It's just annoying. It is very annoying. When you are on a Gatling gun, like mounted turret, right? It shakes your screen so bad you cannot aim. I am not kidding. This game actually prevents you from engaging in a meaningful firefight with the fucking mechanics. It's so stupid. And like the finale was crazy and funny, right? With the president and the nukes. Everything leading up to that point, I it was bad. It was you were just sitting in front of your screen waiting for the cutscene to end so you can shoot something. Like the first one was funny with how bad it was. Then we have Chernobylite. Chernobylite is a cool first person uh horror experience maybe. Uh let's call it like first person survival horror. It's very in the vein of Stalker, but not as open, right? Because Stalker had those giant open fucking areas. So Chernobylite, I liked it. I really liked it. I think I'm gonna put it like here or here. Hmm. Maybe even about. Nah, I'm gonna leave it here. Fuck it, I'm gonna put it above Fortnite just because it's like a not an indie studio but a very small studio. Watched a review for this game so long ago, but I don't remember it at all. Chernobylite, you mean? Yeah, I watched a review also, and I think that review inspired me to buy it, but I forgot who it was from. And he didn't lay out the gameplay like very clearly, or the game changed a lot because it was different than I expected. So Chernobylite is a fun romp across the Chernobyl exclusion zone that you can easily 100% in 16 hours. It does become quite stale towards the tail end when you figure out everything already, but thanks to its design, missions can be rushed through very easily. The last mission is quite fun suicide mission where your companions you gather throughout the game can die, Mass Effect style, influencing their endings, right? The combat is very whatever. The story is fun with a last second twist that might not land depending on what you expected from it. The atmosphere and exploration aspects are second to none, although you cannot shake the feeling that this game could have been so much more. I pray for a Chernobylite 2 with an open world, expanded building, and more enemy variety. I am not crazy about open world games, but this would be perfect for that, or a Stalker like open areas. And yeah, it's just the missions are the problem because you have like I think 5 or 6 areas, and all of the missions happen in those areas, so you will keep coming back to the same areas with no changes. Like sure, maybe the soldiers are now wearing like better armor, you know? Maybe there are some glowing zombies here. Maybe there's a radiation storm now where it wasn't. But those areas are so small and simple, this game feels way smaller than it is because of them. That structure was a mess, in my opinion. I wish they did something different, but it was pleasant. It was pleasant enough, you know. It's a good game. I definitely recommend it because of the price. Like that game is really fucking cheap from what I remember. And lastly, yeah, this is the last game I played. This game I finished actually like 2 weeks ago this year, but it's still going on this list because I wanna like sum up every game I played in that last year. So the last game I played was Needy Streamer Overload. This game has been so fucking hyped up for like by so many people that it's this crazy story. It's super quirky gameplay. It's like so good. You can even see it here. 3 out of 5 is a like that's 7 out of 10. That's a good as fucking game, right? But most of reviews are like this. Ooh, she's me for real. Like no, if you see a review that actually goes into the specifics, it's usually like a lower score, and usually only the jokey ones give it a good score. And here's what I thought about it. So 4.5 hours to beat. I wanted to do all of the achievements, but I just couldn't, man. The longer I spend playing Needy Streamer Overload to see all of the endings, the lower the game's score drops. So I'm gonna cut my losses and rate it 5 out of 10. Watched a review for this game so long ago. Okay, I'm just reading a previous message. I fucking thought you wrote something else. I'm crazy, sorry. So I'm gonna cut my losses and rate it 5 out of 10. The base gameplay idea is novel and the message is sorta obvious to anyone tech savvy enough. But it's okay. The presentation is solid. None of that fucking matters because replaying this game is pure hellfire trash, and I have zero approximate idea how this was not caught in development or testing. This game has couple different endings, right? It encourages you to replay it. That's the big part. It very clearly encourages you to play it many times. But there are unskippable long animations and text logs you have already seen 10 fucking times replaying every time you try to replay it for a different ending. Stupid requirements that constantly get in the way of one another, making you trigger an ending you already did by pure accident, random events that make you reload the day to avoid them, and there are a fuck ton of bugs for such a simple game. All of those make it so incredibly tedious to play this. You can see that in the Steam achievements. Most people did not bother with the process despite the game being incredibly short. So I ask, how the fuck does a game that can't hold most users' attentions for more than 3 hours, despite having the content to do so, have a 95% rating on Steam? This game is so overrated in my opinion, it's insanity. Like I said, if you boot up Steam right now, it has 95%. That's crazy. That's pure copium. They are inhaling that copium like through their veins, man. I don't know how this game landed. Like it's a cool game, I suppose, to play it once, and it's cheap. But people make this out to be like the ultimate indie game, like something like, I don't know, Hollow Knight or yeah, even Salt and Sanctuary. I don't think it's that caliber of indie game. It's just not. And there you have it, like my completed list of all of the my completed list of all of the video games I played in 2023. So what the fuck is this? Sorry, some pop-up. Okay, so let's go through all of this in order, right? So, starting at the top, the very best game I played in 2023 was Lost Judgment by far. Such a crazy fun game. Then, second best is Hollow Knight. This game absolutely lives up to the hype. Fucking Opera GX with its keyboard shortcuts, switch the language and accidentally close the browser. Love it. Yep. So then I replayed Max Payne, still GOAT, still the best game Remedy made, in my opinion. I don't know if Alan Wake 2 will beat it. I will play it eventually and see. Played Mass Effect 2 for the very first time. It was magical. Such a fun RPG. Oh my god. Played Slay the Spire, a simple card game, a simple indie card game that is addictive as fuck. Judgment, the first one, inferior in every way to Lost Judgment, but still probably one of the better Yakuza type games made by that studio that makes, Yakuza game. Yeah. Reminds me of the of the situation with the Stray game. I wanted to play Stray to see if it's as good as people say, but some issues prevented me from playing it, and like it was bottom of my interest because I had PS Plus with the game library open, right? I had it for a whole year. That's why I played so many games in 2023. And it was like at the bottom of that list. I was getting towards Stray near the end of the year, but I didn't make it to Stray. I cannot say if it's actually also overhyped, but I assume it kinda is. Maybe it's not. Like Hollow Knight turned out to be an incredible fucking game. And then you have Resident Evil 2 remake, goated remake. This is what every remake should be. Not faithful to the original. It should take the original and bring it to the modern audience. I don't give a fuck about being faithful. Being faithful is not fun, and being faithful does not make good remakes. Like the remake of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 was not faithful. It added mechanics that came from Tony Hawk 3 and 4, and everybody was like, thank you, you're goated for that. Remake of Demon Souls was incredibly faithful in its mechanics, and it's a piece of shit because the original aged like fucking milk. So don't make faithful remakes, make goated remakes like Resident Evil 2. I will come back to this. Kenshi, like I said on this stream, goated, really fun. It can eat up like the rest of your gaming days if you mess around with DLCs and all the content. 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim, beautiful, super cool story. It's anime, unfortunately. Wish we read the world of anime, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Anime was a mistake. It's true. It's all true. But it's cool. It's a really cool sci-fi story. I fucking loved it. And despite being anime, the presentation itself, like the animations and the graphics, were so goated. It's just the anime tropes that are really stupid. Speaking of anime, Deus Ex Mankind I'm fucking kidding. I will come back to Deus Ex because this is a DLC. Then we have Penumbra, and Penumbra is a weird game because it's Overture, this one here, and this one here, Black Plague. They are the same game, the same continuous story, not in a sequel sense, in a sense that somebody had a script ready and cut it in half. So the first game is first part of the story, kinda like Half-Life episodes, I suppose. and Black Plague is the second part of the story. Black Plague is so much superior. It's basically Proto Amnesia in gameplay terms. Uh, you hide from the scary monsters in the dark, and like you cannot really fight back. This is one of the first horror games where you were utterly fucking powerless. You just had this stealth, and that's it. Uh, this one is a cool introduction. Definitely need to play it anyway. They both go for like $1 as a package, so it doesn't matter. You will get them both, but Overture had less of a cool like setting because you were in a cave all the time. This one takes place in laboratories, fucking Iceland, like snowy tundra, you know. And then we have Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, excellent open world RPG, very climactic. The expansion, Hearts of Stone, such a goated story. Oh my god, this one, it's good that this one is here near 13 Sentinels, because 13 Sentinels is one of the best sci-fi stories I have ever seen, and Witcher 3 Hearts of Stone DLC has one of the best fantasy stories I have seen. It's so good. Then we have Nier Replicant, remaster of the first Nier. It was good, very good. The story is crazy, the story is insane, and the new graphics make it, you know, more engaging. Then we have Ghost of Tsushima, super climactic open world game. The story was actually moving, and the story was something actually unique. It was something new, something we haven't gotten yet. But the gameplay was somewhat of a letdown. The open world almost didn't matter for this game. It was like it was trying to emulate Assassin's Creed in a way, and Assassin's Creed also has a fucking pointless open world. So Ico is one of those old classics. It's a cutesy game. It's very simple. It doesn't take long to complete, and it's just so solid, man. Risk of Rain 2, amazing. Amazing. What shall I call it? Fucking. Oh my god. I'm forgetting words. I'm going crazy. Roguelike. There we go. That's the word. Risk of Rain 2 is an amazing roguelike. There is co-op in it, which makes playing it with friends is beautiful, man. But it does hit its limit after some time, but it's absolutely so worth the money. Everything like A tier and above is 100% worth the money. So anything like B tier is worth the money on a discount, in my opinion. Then we have Postal 2, a classic, like a very violent FPS that is as violent as you are, so you can literally clear it without killing anybody. It's a very unique game. Even it came in 2004. To this day, it's still very unique. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 I just talked about, solid remake. Postal Brain Damaged is a spin-off. It's a boomer shooter like Quake, like Doom. You collect different colored key cards. It's very gory. The graphics are really cool. Stylized graphics that look like a very violent cartoon. It's super cool. Monster Hunter Rise, a very good Monster Hunter game, I suppose. I only know World and Rise. Monster Hunter as a franchise is an excellent like video game type. I definitely recommend to check it out. Dead Cells is another cool roguelike. Nowhere near as good as Risk of Rain, but it's still like definitely worth the money. The art style, the combat kicks ass. Deus Ex Mankind Divided uh, is an immersive sim. So you go around and you fucking break windows to break into apartments. That's what the immersive sim genre seems to be. Or if you invest into hacking, you can hack the keypad in front. Or if you invest into a grenade launcher, you just fucking blow the door open. It's that type of game. There are lots of options influenced by your build, influenced by what you found in the world. It's a cool game. The story was kind of a letdown, and there were very little consequences to your choices. That's why this DLC, A Criminal Past, is in S tier instead, because this story was also very simple, but the choices completely changed the outcome of the entire DLC. And the consequences in gameplay terms were the best they have ever been since the original Deus Ex, man. If the whole game was the quality of this DLC, this would beat fucking Lost Judgment for the top of the list. But it didn't, so. Did I fuck that up? Was this. Whatever. And then Underrail, I talked about, only played the previous parts. Human Revolution, you mean? Uh, a lot of people say Human Revolution is better than Mankind Divided. I think I agree. Mankind Divided had less environments, and the gameplay didn't feel as tight, I guess. But it makes up in certain different ways. The hub world of Mankind Divided is Prague. The fucking capital of Czech Republic. It's one of the best like cities in a game I've ever like played. It's actually fucking crazy. There are so many details, so many like apartments you can break into, so many little side stories you can do. It's amazing, but the story itself and the choices and whatever are weaker than Human Revolution. But if you liked Human Revolution, I definitely recommend it. It also goes very cheap. Under Rail, I talked about in that big ass video. Don't really wanna go into details. Again, very impressive in the open world RPG. Like it's essentially made by one person. That person is fucking insane for making this. He's legitimately crazy for doing a project this big and succeeding. He deserves the money definitely for it. Even if I didn't enjoy the game that much, it's such an achievement. It needs to be like talked about. I feel to uh, just to just to bring justice to the fucking gaming world. Okay, then we have Max Payne 2. Worse than Max Payne 1. Max Payne 1 is a. Oh, I didn't talk about Max Payne 1, Lemao. Max Payne 1 is a third person shooter. It's one of the best shooters still to this day. Like I said, my girlfriend was playing through parts of it. She hates shooters, and this was fun as fuck for her. Even though it's both a shooter and a difficult games, the two things she hates the most in the world. And if things got too tough, I like beat the part she was stuck on. But other than that, it showed me the power of like this gameplay type. She was completely invested in it. The story was a simple revenge thing, but like the narration of the main protagonist, where he was packing up a storm at all times, with this, noir detective, hard boiled detective style narration, made it so Sometimes it was too much and it was cringe, but in those moments it was very funny cringe, not like I wish he didn't say that. It was just funny. And at other times it was so fucking badass. I love him. He's literally me, you know. And then Max Payne 2 happened. Gameplay got better. The story was so much worse. The narration was so much worse. It's just worse Max Payne 1, but the gameplay and the graphics got better. Chernobylite, I just talked about, solid, like indie game. Fortnite is amazing, one of the best online games. I don't care. I may be a basic bitch for liking it, but it's just so fun season to season, you know. And like doing the fucking Super Saiyan pose as Solid Snake is just something different, man. It hits different. Overgrowth is a furry fighting game that's amazing. This is like one of the best 3D fighting systems outside of an actual fighting game. Darkness came to mind. Yeah, Darkness 2. Darkness 2 is. I also played it. It's pretty good. I love the Darkness powers where you rip people to shreds. The narration is also there like that, but Max Payne 1 is like king of that brooding, you know, of that brooding dark narration thing. Persona 3 Portable is a shitty port of an amazing game. I wish I didn't play Portable, I wish I played some other version, but no other version is allowed legally on PC. So I got stuck with Persona 3 Portable, and amazing game. I love the story, I love the gameplay mechanics. The presentation was terrible because this version is a stripped down version of original Persona, and like the animated cutscenes are gone for a lot of scenes, and that impacts like the overall experience. Penumbra, I talked about. Black Mesa, I also talked about today. Uh, Good remake of the original Half-Life, could have been way better. Alan Wake, amazing story, terrible gameplay. Alan's Wake, American Nightmare, the opposite. The gameplay got so much better, the story got so much worse. Honkai Star Rail is S tier, is S tier when it comes to story, characters, gameplay, but it's a fucking gacha game, so it's not going anywhere higher on this list. I already like talked about why gacha is fucking trash. It's literally gambling for all ages. It's not going up there, but you know, it's a good game though. Good game. So I liked how in part 2 of the Darkness they tried to confuse you with what reality is real. Yeah, that was cool like shooting out the lights. Darkness had a bunch of cool mechanics. I kind of wish it continued as a series. Like shooting out the lights to not lose your little darkness tentacles, you know, was amazing. So then we move on to Need for Speed Heat. Good Need for Speed game. Like I played it after being absent from the series for a long time. It was good. Just Cause 1 is a really bad open world shooter that aged terribly. But it's so bad, it's actually fun, kinda like Deadly Premonition, so I still recommend it. Pathologic 2 is better than Pathologic 1. It's still not a game I liked playing, so. Mafia Definitive Edition is a pretty bad remake. I really liked it because in Mafia, gameplay almost doesn't matter. The story is the main point. And the story got enhanced with new visuals. That game is so fucking old. It's like from 2001 or something. So the story got greatly enhanced by new voice acting, new models to do all of the professional, clean looking animations and whatever. And that's why it's better than original Mafia story wise, but gameplay is so fucking bad. I don't know why didn't they. It feels like they didn't try to make it good. Whatever. Dead by Daylight is a fun game with friends. Same as Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but Dead by Daylight will last you way longer. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is just a game you kinda like play and put down. Warzone 2.0, I don't know by this point what it has become. It was a fun shooter. It was a fun battle royale when I played it. Diablo 3 and its DLC are alright games, I suppose. It's not that good. Resident Evil 3 Remake is vastly inferior than Resident Evil 2 Remake because it cut out so much content from the original. And like literally the fucking Nemesis, the main antagonist of the whole fucking game, the infamous Nemesis, is a joke. You throw a one grenade at him and he goes down like a total bitch on a normal difficulty. That in itself is such a travesty, and the campaign is 6 hours despite this game being 40 fucking euros. I don't recommend it buying it full price, only on sale. Then it's kinda okay. My Hero Academia Wants Justice 2. Cool arena fighter. If you like My Hero, you will probably like this. If you want something like really casual to play with your friends at a party or something who are not into fighting games and they will throw their fucking controller at you if you put on Tekken and start comboing them. You put this on and like the biggest casual fucking player can do something in it at least. Postal 2 Apocalypse Weekend, it's an expansion for the original Postal. It missed horribly. It very much strayed from what made Postal 2 good. But it was like alright. Days Gone is slop. I liked it. It's a slop that I liked. It's brain dead open world game that you played 100,000 times. All of the modern Assassin's Creeds like that. All of the fucking Far Cry's beyond Far Cry 3 are like this. So the only cool thing is a bike. Because you're a biker, man, you upgrade your bike. The bike is cool. JoJo Eyes of Heaven is an arena fighter that's vastly inferior to My Hero Wants Justice, but it features like a story mode that actually doesn't suck dick and is original. My Hero just recaps My Hero Academia. Eyes of Heaven has an original story that expands on the JoJo universe in a way that you will never see in the anime or manga. And it's amazing, but the gameplay it's just bad, man. This this has a multiplayer like any fighting game. If the multiplayer was alive and you played it today, you would load into a match, see a fucking twink with a revolver, and he would juggle you to fucking death before you managed to push any buttons. The balance doesn't exist. Nothing makes sense. It's a bad fighting game, but it's great if you're a JoJo fan. It's so goated if you are a fan of JoJo's. Needy Streamer Overdose was kind of overhyped. The gameplay was kind of cool. You managed this girl's stream, and it sorta plays into both the streamer is a fucked up human being for trying to reach new heights by any means necessary, and you as a manager are fucked up for making her put up with some of the stuff you make her put up. and the gameplay plays on that. The gameplay plays on that stress and that of trying to get clout. It's cool, but the gameplay mechanics fell fucking flat to back that up, so it's not that great. Counter-Strike 2 is just worse than CSGO, straight up. And it's still the same CSGO at the same time. This is like a mid DLC for Mankind Divided. It's just one bank heist mission that was... it wasn't that good. Tunic is a cutesy Legend of Zelda style top-down game, which I didn't enjoy as much because I don't enjoy this gameplay type. But if you like the old Legend of Zelda games, this is a cool throwback to it. Like the squirrel, the main protagonist, is even fucking dressed like Link. You can see it from the distance. Ninja Gaiden Sigma Male Edition. It's literally called Sigma, by the way. Ninja Gaiden Sigma Male Edition is a bad character action game. I don't... okay, it's not bad. It's mid character action game. I really felt the game when I was doing really good. I almost felt like I was cheesing the enemies, and when I lost, I was fucking furious. So it's just not pleasant. Postal 2 Paradise Lost. I think running with scissors, the developers behind the original Postal 2 lost their edge a little bit. A lot of humor went from like very crude satire into toilet humor and wit jokes, which is just... come on, man. We're done with that. Even when comedies like that were popular, nobody fucking enjoyed them. That was slop. So Paradise Lost is not that good. Just Cause 2 is really mid. Demon Souls remake is the worst From Software game. I mean, the original is the worst From Software game. It aged horribly. They didn't bother to remake it for the modern day. Why the fuck would you remake it and only improve the graphics? Like, I don't like remakes like this. This is... and it's still lost the identity of the original. I think they should have tried to emulate Dark Souls 3 almost, with some of the mechanics, get some of that annoying shit out of there. They didn't. It's really mid. Gravity Rush is so mid. It has one cool mechanic where you manipulate gravity to attack. The story is fucking terrible. The presentation is also terrible. I only like the main protagonist and your rival designs. Those are quality designs, surrounded by the middest fucking looking city and designs of supporting cast ever. JoJo Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R, which is a fucking mouthful, is a good fighting game. I did not like it, but if you are into fighting games, this is an actual fighting game, not a fucking meme like Eyes of Heaven or My Hero Wants Justice 2. I just did not vibe with it, but it's a real fighting game like Tekken, like Mortal Kombat, that you can do combo, and online community is there because it's JoJo. It's good. Silent Hill for the Room had cool ideas. The gameplay was a giant escort mission. It was bad. Scarlet Nexus had cool ideas for its gameplay on the other hand, but story presentation was fucking terrible. Salt and Sanctuary is a cool 2D Souls-like with great combat that I fell off because it introduced platforming suddenly. Diablo 2 Resurrected is literally Diablo 2 with... just like Demon Souls, it's just new graphics, and Diablo 2 is a 2000s game. That shit is so outdated. That shit is so terrible to play by today's standards. Just don't bother with this. Outward, I didn't like all the walking and the unnecessary like survival mechanics. Saints Row got Out of Hell is bad. As Dusk Falls is, it had its moments, but the graphical presentation is so bad, and your choices don't matter, while the game pretends they do. Um, but the initial hook was there. I wish it delivered more. Deathloop, I liked. I really liked Deathloop. Uh, Deathloop had somewhat good gameplay, but there were so many game breaking bugs, so many soft locks that forced me to reset. And the story is fucking. This is the worst Arcane Studios story by far. Dishonored 1 and 2, Dishonored Death of Outsider, and Prey are so much better than this. So much better. Why would you ever pick this up instead of those two? And the cool disco pop vibe they were going with didn't land at all. It wasn't quirky, fun, whatever. It just felt like Dishonored but brighter colors. And that's fucking stupid. Dishonored is all about the oppressive vibe, you know. And this felt like a texture pack for Dishonored, and but now you have guns instead of a crossbow, whatever. Layers of Fear is fucking terrible. Don't ever support those developers. Uh, they stole a bunch of ideas from PT, and it's just a lazy, like, PT came out, it shook the internet. The devs were immediately, oh my god, we need to make our own PT like horror game, and it's bad. People managed to speedrun Deathloop. They probably don't open inventory. I got soft lock 5 different times because I opened my inventory, and it locked me into it. I don't know why the inventory is so fucking bugged, and we're talking 2 years after launch. Bugs like that should not be in the game. They are still there. It's buggy as fuck. The AI is brain dead. Uh, and yeah, speedrunners probably don't need to look into their inventory too much, so they aren't affected. And I think, yeah, you can, if you know what you are doing, you can finish that game probably pretty quickly. Guardians of the Galaxy was cringe. All of the dialogue was, like I said, Forspoken's level of cringe. I hated it. The gameplay was okay, but they didn't let me play the game. I played the first 2 hours, and it was constantly walk and tack, cutscene, walk and tack, cutscene, tutorial fight, walk and tack, cutscene, walk and tack, cutscene, walk and tack, cutscene. And I at that point I checked out. I didn't want to continue. Fuck that game. People overhype it the fuck out of it just because the Guardians of the Galaxy is in the name. I love the movies. I hate this. I Am Bread is a meme game. It's YouTuber bait. It's not a good game at all. Lords of the Fallen is fucking terrible. Imagine if EA or Ubisoft made Dark Souls, and it's literally this, Lords of the Fallen. Dark Souls without any soul. This is the original from 2014, not 2023. I don't know if 2023 is good. Silent Hill Homecoming. The Steam version of this game barely functions with fucking patches out of the with fun patches out of the ass. It crashed on me so many goddamn times, and even if it wasn't crashing all the time, it's it's so bad. It's the worst Silent Hill by far. at least that I played yet. I think a lot of people say that Silent Hill Downpour is worse. I need to check it out to see. But it cannot get worse than this. This is so fucking bad. And I refuse to rate Resident Evil 1 Remake because I played for an hour and I hate tank controls, so I had to drop it. And it would be unfair for me to rate it because that's kind of a me problem personally, you know. That would be like if somebody played a turn-based RPG and said, this game is terrible because it's turn-based. Like, what the fuck did you expect when you booted up the game? Fucking Dark Souls? So yeah, I don't wanna be that guy, so maybe I will make a second attempt and actually make a proper fucking review, but so this is the entire list. This is 72 games that I played in 2013. Don't know if I will I have a bunch of games I'm playing through right now. Don't know if I will manage to hit such a high number for this year. Let's see, playing. I am currently playing. I kinda played it. I just didn't make a review yet. I am still playing Elden Ring. I am like couple of bosses away from the end, and I took an almost 6 months break because there is so much content in that game. I am at the end of Final Fantasy X, but it's gotten really boring gameplay wise. I am playing through Path of Exile, that is longest campaign. I am replaying Monster Hunter World. I am playing Persona 4 Golden, Cult of the Lamp, kinda for the first time. I played Persona 4 but never finished it. I'm playing it now. I am replaying Nier Automata, and those two I am not actually playing yet. I think I will play them on stream after I finish The Forest. The Forest I'm playing on stream right now. And I still have so many games in my backlog. Deltarune I haven't touched. Assassin's Creed 3, Dragon Age Origins, Mass Effect 3, Plague Tale Requiem, Yakuza 4 Remastered, Quantum Break, Titanfall 2, Batman Arkham City, Call of Cthulhu, Castlevania Lords of Shadows, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I never played like top tier Castlevanias. Control, Darksiders, Ilex, Far Cry 4, Fear, Horizon Zero Dawn, Infamous 1, Just Cause 3 should be here because I haven't played 3 yet. I wanna see if the rest of that franchise is as mid and at least they are short games. Kingdom Hearts, Risen 2, South Park The Fractured But Whole, The Darkness 1, I never played 1, I just played 2. Tom Clancy's The Division, The Last Guardian, The Surge, Watch Dogs 1, I wanna also see if this game is as mid as people make it out to be. Resident Evil Village, Lucius 1, Mad Max, AI The Somnium Files, Postal 4, Final Fantasy 16, Omori, Endless Space 2, Ultra Kill, Alien Isolation, Persona 4 Arena, which is a fighter for Persona 4. The second DLC to Witcher 3, I started it at beginning of 2023 and I had to take a break because Witcher 3 is so long, man. I need to come back and finish it. Deadly Premonition, I need to replay. Signalis, Your Only Move is Hustle, The Taros Principle, Bayonetta 1, Ready or Not, Killing Floor 2, The Outlast Trials, E. And Pathfinder, Kingmaker after that. Whatchamacallit. After that Mandalore review. I'm playing Cult 2. I played it for 2 days in one breath. I played it with my girlfriend for a little bit. We kinda got a little tiny bit bored, but wanted to come back to it, and now they added this huge free update, so I need to like play through it in its entirety. Better start the next game if in the Pathfinder series it's just better. But is the story not like continuing from Pathfinder to Pathfinder 2? I will research this before I start playing Pathfinder then, because you know what? Now that I think about it after watching Mandalor's review of Wrath of the Righteous, I think some of that makes sense actually now that I think about it. Okay, it's not. Okay, so yeah, I will do some research and redecide. It's still in my backlog. I still have like other games in front of it. Some of these I do plan to stream. Streaming The Forest has been really fun, but the problem is The Forest is my first game I have ever streamed, and the quality of those streams is fucking terrible. It's going up with each and every stream because I'm figuring out the perfect settings for me, but sadly it's just unfortunately like the victim of me not being experienced with streaming video games. But the game simply mentions that the events of the first part took place. Damn. So yeah, I think diving into Wrath of the Righteous might be the right call. And yeah, I definitely wanna finish streaming The Forest. I wanna stream Amnesia and Cry of Fear because they are like horror games. I think I could stream like most of this, of most of my backlog. I just don't wanna stream some things that I specifically wanna play with my significant other, but like, she doesn't give a fuck about Assassin's Creed, man. This shit I only care about. I wanna replay the whole series. I replayed it to Brotherhood. I never played Assassin's Creed 3 actually. I want and 4. I never touched Assassin's Creed 4 despite it being like one of the most acclaimed games ever. I wanna see if that holds up in 2024. RPGs are best not streamed. That's true. Like things like Pathfinder or Mass Effect, I don't think I will stream, depending on depending on what happens. Like I just know Mass Effect. If I have that comparison because I played Mass Effect 2. Streaming Mass Effect 2 would be kind of a mess. It's so long. There are so many things. Like you cannot stream everything. You need to do some things off stream. But yeah, like fucking Quantum Break or Batman Arkham City, the horrors I mentioned before, some of the Castlevanias maybe, Fear 1, like maybe Just Cause, those are very like short games. The Darkness also is like a short shooter, so you know why not. Shitting on Watch Dogs with live audience might be fun. I could do a couple of streams of Endless Space too. This is a game like Civ. They're too big, especially the turn-based ones. Yeah. I could do a couple of streams of Endless Space too. This is like Civilization, right? I obviously wouldn't stream every fucking hour I put into this, but like first impressions, sort of learning the game to see, to like show people how it goes. Witcher I wouldn't stream because this is obviously like a continuation of my uh dark side. I have Darksiders here, right? Yeah, Darksiders 1. I don't know. I heard Darksiders 2 is very good. Darksiders is another one of those. It's like an action game, right? I'm not even sure about that. like I could stream those two. I heard a lot of good things about Darksiders 2. And by proxy, some people said, yeah, Darksiders 1 is pretty good also. But I literally never touched them. Darksiders 3 was controversial, I think, because it switched the combat. Yeah, see, there are so many stories in gaming I wanna explore, like from my perspective, rather than just reading, just like watching reviews or reading things. But obviously, some of this, like Pathfinder, I would never find out if it wasn't for Mandalore, and Endless Space is all fucking Seth's influence. And Seth's recommendations so far have been so fucking good. Except Outward, I didn't vibe with Outward. But Kenshi is one of my literally favorite games, as can be seen here. It's up there, so. Oh, this took way longer than I expected. Oh my god. After 2, there's a game in a different genre. Yeah, that's just Darksiders 3, right? Darksiders 3. Oh, those same people made Remnant too? And Remnant 1? I played Remnant, didn't really like that. Kind of like Diablo, I guess. Oh, that's what you mean. This is interesting that they didn't make Darksiders. That okay, so they didn't make Darksiders 1 and 2. They just made 3. Who the fuck made Darksiders 2 then? Vigil Games. Okay, they just made Darksiders 1 and 2. Now I see why 3 might be controversial. Now I have the fucking context. Let's see. Sold. Vigil itself received no. Oh, that's sad. They fell apart. So they were developing a fucking Warhammer 40k MMO or something. Man, the fall of THQ was. It shook up games in its whole. Like, they helped develop like so many fucking cool ass video games, or directly like started franchises. Like THQ I think started Saints Row, or like co-developed it. Saints Row 1. Okay, it was publishing it, but yeah, like they had the rights, and they worked with Volition to develop it. And then it all kind of fucking fell apart because THQ exploded. So many good IPs went to shit after that. Volition also made Red Faction, right? Yeah. Man. I mean, they are still kinda around, but the people who made Saints Row Reboot are not the same people who made the fucking original Saints Row. I'm sorry, there's just no other way to put it. That studio is just gone. Oh, okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna actually stop here. I wanted this to be like an intro, just list the games, right, and then do reaction streams. But this took way too long. At least I fixed my camera issues. At least everything fucking works. Everything is cool. I will review the footage to see if there were like any pixelation or whatever, because I increased my bitrate. I don't know how like my internet handled that. Hopefully the bitrate will make like this next streams better, look better, and especially the forest. The forest really doesn't look good on my streams, sadly, but it's a work in progress. This whole thing is a work in progress. So yeah, tomorrow is a longer stream than this for sure, and I will be like reviewing. I will be reacting to things such as. For now, I have Alan Wake's DLC and American Nightmare by Bricky. The Modern Warfare 3 campaign by Bricky and Ross's Game Dungeon. I need to add Mandalore's. Like review of Warhammer Total War DLCs in there, because I really wanna see it, and I will probably mix up the. Yeah, it's the forest. There's a lot of foliage. It's gonna be cut down in quality anyway. That is very true, but I'm like those are problems I didn't realize I will run into while streaming. Like streaming and just recording videos is so much different. It turns out, surprisingly, you know. So that's why it's I'm getting there bit by bit, but thankfully, you know, the forest kind of took the hit, and then like other games that people on the channel might care about more will look better because of that, because I will learn and like tune the settings and whatever. Yeah, and this might. I'm touching the camera again for some reason. Like, I swear to God, this table is just wandering towards the camera, and I will mix this up probably, so the list will look different in different order. It will be tomorrow, and I am starting like tomorrow again at, for me it's 10 a.m. Like that's the time I have time to stream. So thank you very much for joining me, being part of this, you know, experience. That's a work in progress, and yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks. And yeah, hopefully tomorrow's stream will be cool and everything will work out fine. Hope I wake up. Yeah, you know, you can always watch a replay. I'm here day after day, pretty much like Monday to Friday. So yeah, if you have any requests, you can like put them in the chat some other day, or comment under videos. I always see like new comments, even if they are on older videos. I always respond to them. And yeah, that's everything from me from today. I hope you guys, I'm not sure how many people are in the chat right now, honestly. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night, depending on where you are, and hope you will join me for other streams. And thank you very much for watching, and I will see you as always